Hi there. So during the last season of The Bachelor, I kind of felt like I was the only person in my office who wasn't watching it. Every Tuesday morning, everybody would be coming in and talking about it, and I'm like, wait a minute. So I was the only person watching Monday Night Raw? So I decided I was going to try something out. I was going to start watching it this season, and if there's an interest, I'll blog the entire season. So let's start off with this premiere episode. I was introduced to two women, Caitlin and Britt. Caitlin from Canada, from Vancouver, so I like her already, and Britt, who's not from Canada, but still seemed likable nonetheless. So this season, we had two women vying for the title of Bachelorette, and basically what was to happen is 25 men were going to come in, meet these women, and then decide who they wanted to have as the Bachelorette. So instead of having all of the men basically kissing up to the women so they could stick around, it was basically the women kissing up to the men for the hopes of being the Bachelorette. So from my point of view, a guy who occasionally watches this show and really couldn't tell you what's happened over the last little while, I found this pretty interesting for a couple of reasons. First of all, you had a lot of men who were coming in and hugging Britt or hugging Caitlin and saying, "I'm here for you. I hope it's you," which is really nice. They've already got their favorites. But what happens if you come in for Britt and then Caitlin becomes the Bachelorette? Does that mean that you decide, hey, Chris Harrison, I'm out of here. I don't even want a rose. I'm going home. Or then do you automatically switch and then start kissing up to the other person? I'm not really sure. I can't tell you the names of all the men that showed up because right now, to me, they're all under the same name, temporary, because you have no idea who's going to make it. Once that's established, I'll try to pay more attention. But there were a couple of people that stood out. First of all, there was the guy that showed up and said to one of the girls, "I hope we have a great season." A great season? I thought you were here for love. I thought this was all about courtship. It just kind of exemplified the fact that, no, this is about TV and this is about ratings. Let's have a great season? What does that mean? Then there was Ryan. Oh, we have to talk about Ryan. This is the belligerent fool who showed up, got completely plastered, and then started playing grab ass with Caitlin. Now, me being the conspiracy theorist that I am, I kind of think that this was an ABC plant and that they just sent him there to mess with people's minds. Let's just assume, though, that he wasn't. How much of a dumbass can you be to go on national TV and act like this? If he was living in Canada, Hydro One would have fired him by now. Anyways, as far as Ryan was concerned, Ryan again was a complete idiot. And then what made me chuckle with him wasn't how he was acting, but when Chris Harrison took him aside and said, "You're not here for the right reasons. You are not here for the right reasons, so we're sending you home." What would those right reasons be? Fame? Not really sure. Anyways, because it's The Bachelor, and you know that the chances of any of these relationships sticking isn't going to happen. I mean, it's all about having a good season. It's not about falling in love. I always think to myself, this is kind of crazy in the sense that there are so many different ways to meet people, and people go on the show, and I don't necessarily know if they go on the show thinking that they're going to find true love, or just that they can look forward to at least a couple times during the year of having their face on the cover of People magazine. I was very excited to see a couple of brothers there. We'll see how long they last. One of them kind of reminds me of, like, a watered down John Legend. The other one kind of reminds me of like LL Cool J before LL Cool J started hitting the gym. So we'll see what happens with those guys. As far as the ladies are concerned, both of them seemed very nice, and I'm having, very minimal experience in terms of not seeing the previous season of The Bachelor that they were on. I couldn't tell you a lot about them. Of course, I like Caitlin because she's from Vancouver, and it's my favorite Canadian city. But Britt seemed very nice as well, and she seemed very down to earth. They didn't seem to have a huge contrast between the two of them. I'd be fine with either. I think one seems to be more of a party girl, and the other one seems to be a little more down to earth. But again, on opening night, you never know what you're really getting with these ladies, or with anybody for that matter. It's because everybody's on their best behavior, and it's not really until, I'd say, a few episodes in that after the Maybelline's off and you really start to see what the people are like, that it gets to be really fun. So anyways, who's going to become the Bachelorette? I'm going to say Caitlin for the simple fact that she's Canadian, and I got to go with the Canuck. Who do you guys think is going to be the Bachelorette? Do you want to hear me talk about this all season? Let me know. CFL_fan on Twitter, Facebook.com/WittyWhittier and WittyWhittier.com. We didn't find out at the end of this episode because it's a 2-night premiere. We need to drag this out, so let's get excited about it. Water cooler talk, I think most of it's probably going to be going about Ryan tomorrow. Nothing else really overly eventful happened tonight. It was the typical meet and greet stuff, and there were some clever, introductions. But at the end of the day, I just felt bad for the ladies, as they could hear. They're not deaf. They're standing around, and they're probably about 5 feet away from each other, 5-10 feet away from each other, and they're hearing one guy saying, "I only wanted to come here because it was you," and then they walk over and they're like, "Hey, Caitlin, what's up? Good to see you." Just awkward. Anyways, that's my take on tonight's episode. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.